Have you ever wondered why it looks like the same people keep doing well, the same physicians keep doing better and better and better?
Welcome to the Money Fit MD show. I'm Dr. Latifat, the founder of Money Fit MD. We want to change the narrative where women physicians use. My job is to let you know that's gonna be. I have to surround myself with people that are doing crazy things.
And maybe you're someone that you're looking from the outside and you identify with being a poor physician right now. And why does it look like poor physicians get poorer and rich physicians get richer? If you want to learn that so that you can know how to change your game so that you can become one of those that's getting richer, this episode is for you. If we haven't met, I'm Dr. Latifat. I'm a physician, GI doctor, mama of three, founder of Money Fit MD, all of that stuff. And I'm so excited about this episode and what you are going to learn in this episode because listen, it is probably going to make some things make sense for you. But also, even further than that, you're going to learn the things that you too can do to position yourself for greatness. Because the reason why I'm doing this podcast is not so that less and less physicians will be rich. No, it's so that more and more women physicians and especially first generation wealth builders, potential wealth builders can cross over to being wealth builders because the fact that you're earning multiple six figure or seven figure does not mean you're wealthy. It just means that you have the potential to be. Your MD, D, or MBBS degree means you have the potential to be, but whether you become or not, you have a part to play. And the fact that you're listening to this podcast means that you want to be a wealth builder. Maybe you're already comfortable and you want to grow your net worth. You want to move to the next level of freedom for yourself. I am so glad that we found each other. Okay, so let's get straight to the point. I just came back from a trip. I went to a conference, an in-person conference. I guess you'd call it mastermind, a gathering of like really smart people. And these are smart people that are doing successful businesses, seven figure, eight figure, and really like killing it in their own world, right? And one of the things that I love about being in those rooms is you're not only learning from the person that put the room together, but you're learning from all the other people in the room. That's what a true mastermind is. And I love in-person events, y'all. I love in-person events. And I know that that is sometimes hard for us as busy women physicians, right? Especially if you're a mom, you're like, I'm already busy with life. Like, how do I find the time to even travel? Listen, it is inconvenient. It is not going to be convenient, but it will be worth every single moment that you spent in there. And when I think about like the shift that happens with just one event, it is like game changing, y'all. Game changer. And it reminds me of why we also started our in-person event a couple of years ago. So the first year we did it, it was in Atlanta. The second year was in San Diego area. And this year, 2026, it's going to be in San Diego area as well. And guys, there is something powerful that happens when you're in the room with like-minded people, right? Like-minded physicians, in our case, like-minded women physicians. Like the growth that happens in every part of your being normally would maybe take you like months and months and months, but like in one day, in 2 days, in 3 days, the shift and groundedness that happens literally will change your life, right? And so as I went to this event in a different state, it took me freaking 12 hours to get back home. 12 hours, y'all, so you can imagine. But I will tell you that I will do it again in a heartbeat. And so if you're a woman physician and you have not signed up to join us yet in San Diego for our in-person event that's happening September 25 to 27th, make sure you check the show notes because you absolutely want to be in the room. This is not like some overcrowded room. This is going to be a room curated for you women physicians. I want us to be able to have like connections, to network, to have conversations, parenting, wealth building, investing, team building, like who is your CPA? Do you have a tax strategist? Like all of those things that is just hard for us to talk about on virtual space, we are going to be talking about it in person. It's going to be fun, yeah. So make sure you check the show note if you have not signed up yet. We're already more than halfway full, so don't miss out on the opportunity to be in the room with me and other fabulous women physicians just like you. So, talking about this whole conversation of like, why do the poor physicians keep getting seem like they're getting poorer, but the rich ones keep getting richer? By the way, in-person event is one of the success tips, y'all. It's one of those things that you do that's a success tip that if you've never been in a room where money, wealth is been happening, it may explain why, things are the way they are. And if you've been to events before, Again, game changer. So I'm done talking about that. But anyway, so back to my topic. Y'all are distracting me. Back to my topic. So, what are those things that really are critical in explaining why poor people, poor physicians, say poor? I want you to think, because you're a physician, you know all the stuff, right? I want you to think about what happens when it comes to vaccination. Think about what happens when it comes to vaccination. So we are doing shots. You come in, we inject you with a portion of a deactivated part of the virus. It stimulates a response in you, right? And the whole idea behind that is that next time you meet an actual real virus, you now are primed to be able to work and respond appropriately with it, right? So there is a process called priming that happens to our body, which is how and why vaccinations work. That's the mechanism that actually causes it to work. The same idea of priming can be found when you're like painting a house. You've heard about like you apply the prime, right? You can paint a wall directly, or you can apply a prime underneath it. Sometimes they have it mixed in with the paint. But the whole point of it is like when you are primed, when the wall is primed, it improves the efficacy of the paint. When the wall is primed, it makes the paint stick better, it makes it pop better, and it makes it stay longer. So priming makes things more effective. And this same principle is actually working when it comes to what keeps poor physicians poor and what helps rich-minded physicians get richer. Right? And so if you think about it, if something comes, an opportunity comes, and I'll give you an example actually using some of our members inside of 6 to 7. And 6 to 7 is our 16-week foundational money program for women physicians that are ready to grow from 6-figure income to 7-figure net worth. Many of those women physicians were maybe avoiding their finances in the past. They maybe did not know where their money was going. They felt that level of like stress when it comes to money. So 6 to 7 is where we come help them get on that path to creating 7 figures net worth. Okay. And what I found is like there are people in there that before they came, they were like, money is happening to me. It's not happening for me, kind of like mindset, right? And that's okay because I was there before. However, there's something that happens when they come into those rooms, their mindset starts to change. They start to see opportunities differently. Like literally, there was a woman physician, when she joined us, she was like, well, I'm done with training. I'm trying to figure out what work to do. She got her first job and she did not like it. And she's like, what am I going to do? I want loan forgiveness and all this other stuff. But now within the first couple of weeks of the program, she started to see opportunities. She started to identify opportunities that she may not have seen before, where she's not like, oh my goodness, like I have options, right? The same thing happens for some of our women physicians inside of the Wealth Village, which is our 12-month inner circle coaching community for women that are going beyond money and building more money, but wealth embodied. And there was a physician that joined us about a year and a half ago. And when she joined us, for her, I laugh about like surveys. It's one of my pet peeves. I don't rip it off people's fingers, but I'm like, the time you'll be spending doing surveys, you could be like closing like way significant, multiple 4 figures, 5 figures, and maybe even 6-figure deals and contracts and opportunities. And so when she joined us, she was one of those people that like, she was doing those $10, 15-minute surveys. And if you've done those surveys before, I tried them many years ago, and I would get so pissed because you would start doing them, get halfway through, and they're like, sorry, you don't qualify. So you just wasted like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes being disqualified. Like, what kind of nonsense is that? And so it's a complete waste of time. But for her, when she joined in Wealth Village, that was what she was doing before. And now she's like doing like, non-clinical contracts, where she was celebrating recently. Actually, she traveled with she's a single mom, traveled with her kids, and she's like, all of this was paid using my non-clinical income, like 100% vacation being paid by non-clinical, non-weird things that she was doing, right? So again, those were opportunities that already existed, but she was not seeing them because she was not primed for success. So the question becomes like, what is it that can help a physician that maybe is identifying as poor-minded become primed? And maybe you're a physician that already considers yourself successful, but you were not knowing what it is that you were doing before. But now you're like, oh my goodness, Latifat, I get it, priming. How can you prime yourself better for success? That is what we're going to talk about. So You guys may have heard me talk about like be, do, have, which is a fundamental, foundational principle of how you can become successful. And it's like, just in general, it's talking about like, who do you have to be? What does that person have to do so they can have what they are going to have? And this is something that I talk about a lot. You may have heard other people talk about it. It's well known principles for success. But I'm going to give it a different spin for you today so that by just following these things, you start to identify how to prime yourself for success so that regardless of where you are, you can grow more, you can have more, and you can be more. You're welcome. I know. I love it. By the way, guys, if you're listening to this podcast and you already are liking what you're hearing, can you do me a favor and just take it and share it with at least 3 people that you know? My goal is to help more women physicians. I want us to be known as people that are good with money. I want us to learn this success principles, this principles that lead to financial and wealth plus freedom for physicians. And the only way that we can impact your community is if you do us a favor and share this. So I would absolutely love it. If you found this helpful, share it in Facebook groups, text it to your friends. If you have an email community, share it with them. And if you do, I just want to say thank you. Send me a message on Facebook or Instagram at BenefitMD or Dr. Latifat Akintade. And I want to say a huge thank you to you. Like, thank you. God bless you. And you're part of helping more and more women physicians live a life of freedom. Okay? So the number one thing that I want to focus on is that part of like being ready in terms of being ready to be that person that when opportunity comes, you're not able to make them work for you and amplify so they can actually enjoy the benefits. Okay. The number one thing I want you to ask yourself is, are you being the person? Meaning, are you being the person that's primed for success? And when I ask the question of like being the person, like who you are, I want you to think about it as a conglomerate of like thoughts. Right? A conglomerate of thoughts, which is what your mindset is. Your mindset is a series of linear thoughts that you have that now become this network called the mindset, right? And so the key is, if your mindset, the series of the thoughts, what you believe, the stories you're telling yourself, whether you think you can or you think you cannot, if all of those series of things you're thinking is positioning you to not be primed for success, to not be primed for opportunities, you can see how it can make someone that is mindset poor, right? I'll give you an example of this and what this could look like in real life. When the pandemic was happening, right? When the pandemic was happening, I was having conversations in physician spaces and in non-physician spaces. And people that were wealth-minded, especially those that are not physicians, they were having conversations like, there is always opportunities. It's just a matter of like being ready, being prepared, and waiting for the opportunities. And the conversations that physicians were having was, well, the market is bad right now. We're just going to like hunker down, and when things are better, we'll come out to play. And I'm like, wait a minute, we're talking about this one world. Physicians are having a conversation that is very, very different from wealth-minded communities and wealth communities where people are talking about 8 figures and above. And I'm like, there's a mismatch here. And one of my jobs is to be a bridge for women physicians. I want to learn all the stuff so that I can connect you with the resources. Like, I want my network to become your network, because your network becomes your net worth. So you can be hustling and grinding like crazy, or you can be positioned for opportunities that are coming your way. And so I started like talking, and I did this whole summit that was like be prepped, not panic, which was like teaching and sharing knowledge and information about how the wealthy are positioning themselves to grow even in the midst of the pandemic. And those that listened profited, and those that did not listen did not profit from it. So those tools, those mindset, those ways of thinking, those beliefs become like the foundational part that helps you be ready or not ready. So I'll give you another specific example about that. I always tell people I'm always willing and ready to buy real estate if the right opportunity comes, right? If the right opportunity comes, the money will come. That's how I think about it. People are like, oh, I need the money before I find the deal. No, let the deal come, then the money will come. That's how it works. I'm positioned for opportunities. Are you positioned for opportunities? Is your thought process leading you towards growth, or is your thought process keeping you stuck and disempowered? And I will say that one of the things that comes into place in this is, maybe you're someone that's listening right now and you're like, Latifat, I'm a realist. How can I believe what I don't see? But the truth is, if you don't believe what you don't see, you're only going to lead a certain level of success, right? Because there's a part of success that actually is 3D. There is the faith part of success of like, I haven't found the property yet, but I'm going to keep looking and I believe it's out there. And I'm going to keep looking. I'm going to keep like committing to like networking, building my deal funnels, having conversations with people. And that is how the deal will materialize. I want you to just imagine for a second that some human being thought one day that we should go to the moon. I want you to imagine that for a second. Someone said, let's go to the moon. And we did. That may sound far, far away, but I'm going to bring it down to you. I want you to imagine yourself back in that high school class, middle school class, elementary school class. At some point, you decided, I want to be a doctor. And maybe for you, no one in your family had done that. Maybe your parents were farm workers. Maybe your mom was a nurse. Maybe your dad was I don't know, a pastor, a clergy. Your mom was a stay-home. No one in your family has ever even considered being a physician. Maybe your parents were physicians back in their home country. They escaped a place of a lack of safety and barely came to this country with like a shirt on their body. And here you are saying, I want to be a doctor in America and I want to be a millionaire. And you have either done it or you're on the way there. There's an extra level of hallucination, we'll call it faith, that's required, right? So that whole idea of like, I'm a realist, I want you to just ask yourself, is that true or are you just afraid? So again, the number one thing is if you want to be primed, because you want to be someone that wants to be one of the physicians that are getting richer as opposed to poorer, is you need to ask yourself, am I being the person? Is the series of network of thinking and the level that I'm thinking position me for success or is it positioning me for failure? That's number one. Number two is, are you positioned by doing? Are you positioned by doing? One of the mistakes that I see many physicians make is, you listen to the news, you hear the market is down, the market is crashing, and you're like, get the heck out of the market, right? You're like acting all kinds of like hyperactivity because of news that you're hearing that may not necessarily should be affecting what actions you take or not take when it comes to your investment. And one of the things that I found is like when you are invested, we talk about time in the market is the important thing. It's not timing the market. Time in the market. But regardless of how well or how bad the stock market is doing, if you're not invested, you're not even part of the game. If you're not invested, you're not even part of the game. One of the things that I see many physicians doing is they high five themselves like, oh, I heard the market crash. Thank God I was not part of it. Guess what? You're not going to be a part of the uprising of the market as well. So the question for you is the actions that you're taking, are they priming you to be part of the reward? Are they priming you to be part of the great timing of the market that's inevitably going to come after whatever it is happening in the market? Are the things that you're doing, the place that you're positioning yourself, are you positioning yourself to take advantage of opportunities? One of the physicians that I shared earlier who has been, making money with non-physician income and able to support her, sponsor her own vacation and all of that stuff. One of the opportunities she got was really because someone in the community, like, oh yeah, are you looking for opportunities? I'll recommend you. And that was it. That was it. Are you positioning yourself? Are you putting yourself in the spaces? This is not about FOMO. This is not about scarcity. This is about wisdom. Are the actions that you're taking positioning you for success? Someone, one of the members inside of our 6 or 7 program messaged me a while ago, and she was asking for connections to CPA tax strategies. Another one was asking for connection to how to turn short-term rentals into mid-term rentals to increase the potential way that she could optimize the market she was in, right? The actions that these people were taking were positioning them to be primed for success. So my question for you is, are you waiting for the right opportunity? Are you positioning yourself to be primed for success? Are you investing in a way that's automated, simple, effective in the market so that you can take advantage of when the good times come? Or are you staying out and watching the game, right? Because what happens is when you stay out, you start to say things like, well, this is not for people like me. It is not going to work. The rich keep getting richer. Like, you could become the rich that are getting richer. And I'll explain to you why that's a great thing. You are a conduit for goodness. When money is in your hands, that means that money can get through you to things and opportunities that need it. The organizations, the nonprofit organizations you're going to start, the people you're going to speak with, the families, like when the person that cleans our home comes here, that is economic opportunities that she gets to have because Latifat has the financial resources to pay her, because you have the financial resources to pay her. That person that you're able to provide a tip for, that, like, this is how you become the source, the people that you're hiring. So money in your hands is a good thing. So are you going to keep standing out, or are you going to like get in so that you can become part of the rich that keeps getting richer? That's a question that you get to answer. The third and last but not the least is the having. And the way that I'm going to spin this is going to be a matter of like the skill set. And when I talk about skill set can be different things. For example, when I think about the skill set that women are learning inside of 6 or 7, which is how to know where their money is going, how to have excess, how to have extra, how to pay off their debt in a way that's automated, freedom fueled, not scarcity mindset that causes like stress and like drama at home, how to invest so that your money like automate grows for you. We did I did this thing inside of 6 or 7 where I literally showed them like, this is if you invest this in a way that's boring, you could have multiple 7 figures at this, like, by this date, and you get to play around and see how you actually like. It's not all left to chance when you get to that first 7 figures or the next 7 figures. This has to do with you like using the models that exist. Of course, nothing is guaranteed, but you can use the models that exist to estimate like when could it look like when the first 7 figures, the next 7 figures, and all of that stuff, so that you can stop living in scarcity when abundance literally has your like name on your envelope, like licka on the envelope for you. I hope this is making sense. So asking yourself, like, are you positioned based on the skill set? The foundational money principles, these are universal. Like even someone that's like, multiple 7 figures. We have people in the wealth village that are 8-figure net worth, and these are still the principles that they're applying. So we cannot outgrow these principles, because this is how you like grow. This is how you stay rich. This is how you like enjoy your money you have. It's this principle. So like, have you learned the money skill set? Have you learned how to negotiate? Have you learned how to pay debt off so that regardless what happens, you are not stressing out? You trust the skill sets that you have. Like when you look at the economy and the things that's happening, nobody knows what's going to happen next year. But one of these ideas of like portable wealth is like the person that you have become, the skill sets you have, the how you think, that can be dropped in any zip code and you can still succeed, right? So the question for you is this: have you learned the skill sets that will prime you to be successful? So again, just to reiterate, the question becomes like, have you become the person? Are you being the person? If there's a gap, then how can you become the person? Ask yourself that question. Are you positioning yourself by doing? If you're not, ask yourself, what are the things I need to be doing? And then the last but not the least is, have you acquired the skill set? If you have not, what are the skill set that you need to acquire? And where can you acquire the skill set? Those are the questions that I have for you. If you can do this, if you take what I've said right now and apply even one of it, guys, it can become a game changer. This is how you get to become part of the rich doctors that are getting richer. I hope this has been helpful. Again, I would love it if you can share this with your people in your network. Let them learn. Physicians want to be free. When you share this with them, you are being a part of helping other physicians be free as well. I want to say thank you for listening. I appreciate you and see you in the next episode. Goodbye.